Okay. Hey, we're at the teaching tube again. And so we're doing limits again. But oh yeah, and remember this picture? Well, we have to go to it again. So now that I've said again a million times, let's do this with some functions, okay? So this f of x we can write. Actually, let's skip that one. That one's annoying. This g of x we can write as g of x equals 1 for x is not equal to 1 and 2 for x is equal to 1. Okay, so how do we take the limit? Well, in general, when you're taking a limit numerically, what you do is plug it into the function. But you have to be careful. When you plug in, you want to plug in when you're getting very close to the value, but not when you're exactly on the value. So, as I mentioned before, 2 is never right for the limit, okay? Because there's nothing leading us into there. But we can plug in x is very close to 1, but not equal to 1, and get a value for the limit, okay? So, the limit as x approaches 1 from the positive side, okay, so we plug in x equals 1 into g of x, and that tells us, okay, well, wait, we can't plug in 1 because it's 1 positive. So we could plug in something very close to 1, but just a little bit bigger. You could think of it as 1.00001 with as many zeros as you want. But that's never exactly equal to 1. Okay? So we just go and, we plug it in and we see, okay, it has to be 1. And, don't do that on your exam. And do the same thing. Well, of course, if you're learning this by yourself, not for an exam, for fun, then you don't have to worry about these things. But you should still keep your notation good. Let's do this.
Good.
What?
You should speak grammar well.
I said no. You should keep your notation good. Good describing notation, not well.
Fine, whatever.
You should keep your grammar correct before you correct me. You know, one of my professors told me that the worst people when you're editing essays and papers are engineers that think they know grammar, because they just hold on to it and get really annoying. Anyways, so we're just going to take this limit again, and we plug in something as close to 1 as possible on the negative side. And, oh, look, it's not actually equal to 1, so we go to this thing. And so, since these are equal, we know the limit exists. And so when we plug in 1 roughly from the positive and the negative side, we get the same answer. And that is equal to 1. Well, now let's do the same thing for f of x, because now I think we know how to tackle that one.
Mini earthquake, guys.
Okay.
Mini earthquake.
Oh,
Big earthquake.
that's terrible. Okay, so now we have f of x, a new f of x. And it looks like this. And this one's complicated. Great. So we have x is less than 1 is equal to 2. X is greater than 1 it's equal to 1. And otherwise it's equal to 3. Okay, so remember, this guy's the wrong answer. Okay? It's a good strategy. Cross out everything that's wrong. Anyways.
I'll cross you out.
You're the one that's wrong. You get crossed out. Let's approach x. Let's approach 1 from the positive side. So we go and plug in 1 plus 0.0001 over here, and we say, oh, it happens to be right here. And we plug it into this value, and, well, we don't have a choice for this value. But remember, it could be something like x, okay? And then this might be a little bit more interesting. Okay, and I'm sorry it's not to scale, because this one is like a million times longer than this one, but we can ignore that. So what we can see is that if we plug in 1.00001 and we get closer and closer to 1, we know that has to fall in this category. And we know that we have to plug it into here. And the 0.00 part goes really, really small, so it goes to 1. Okay? And we can do the same thing with the left side, the negative side. And, okay, so we have to first figure out which category it goes to, and it's this category. And now we just plug in. Oh, well, we don't have a choice, so it's 2. And since these are not equal, then the limit total to 1 does not. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna write DNE. So remember, the
That's
limit
like a one.
equals 1. It doesn't exist. And you
That
should.
looks like a T of X, not an F of X, buddy.
Okay, well, at least I put them in now. Okay, so
That looks
all
like
these
a-
limits
Okay, fine.
have now values, and this one doesn't exist.